Sometimes the wildest stories aren't in novels or movies, they're hidden, buried deep inside computer system logs. And today, we're going to play digital detective. We're going to piece together a story from the cryptic world of code. And our entire investigation, well, it kicks off with just one single, really mysterious line of text.
So here it is. This is our starting point, pulled right from a system process list. Now I get it. To most of us, this looks like, well, digital noise, right? Just a bunch of random characters. But if you put on your detective hat, this is our first real clue. It's like a snapshot of a computer's activity at a specific moment in time. You've got a username, a process ID, the program being run. It's basically a digital fingerprint left at the scene.
And that right there brings us to the core question of this entire explainer. Is this just random computer gibberish? Or could this little line of text actually be a critical piece of evidence in a massive, multi-million-dollar lawsuit against, get this, one of the biggest tech companies on the planet? The stakes are pretty high.
Okay, so to get to the bottom of this, we've got to follow the trail of digital breadcrumbs. We're hunting for a pattern, a ghost in the machine, you could say, someone whose actions are going to tell us a story.
And you know what? A pattern starts to show up almost immediately. If you look at these logs, you see the same username, Jameson, popping up again and again. And check out the timestamps. The activity goes from 5:51 in the morning all the way to 2:11 in the afternoon. So this is no random blip. We're talking about hours of sustained, focused work here.
All right, so if we're going to crack this case, we have to understand the crime scene itself. And in this story, the crime scene isn't a room or a building, it's a super complex digital environment. So let's step inside the digital workshop where all this activity was taking place.
So as we dig through the logs, we keep seeing this term, cross-containers. What is that? Well, it's basically a secure, sandboxed little bubble provided by Google. It lets you run Linux apps right inside their Chrome OS. The best way to think of it is like a self-contained digital workshop, and the key thing is, it's supplied by Google.
Okay, so how does our mystery user actually get into this workshop? They use a program called VSHD, which stands for Virtual Shell Daemon. Think of it this way. If the container is the locked workshop, VSHD is the key that gets you through the door, letting you work inside using the command line.
Then there's another program that keeps popping up in the logs, Sommelier. I love this analogy. It's like a digital butler. Its whole job is to take whatever visuals and graphics are being made inside that workshop and serve them up perfectly presented on the user's main screen. And this is a huge clue. It tells us our user isn't just running some invisible background task. No, they're fully set up, working in a complete graphical environment.
So let's just pause and put all the pieces together for a second. The evidence trail is crystal clear. Our user, James Ann, isn't some casual visitor. This person is working hard, deep inside a really complex digital ecosystem that is built, managed, and this is the important part, provided entirely by Google.
Okay, we've got the digital footprints. We know the location, this digital workshop. Now it's time for the big step, connecting these digital clues to a real person. Let's unmask the man behind the username. So after all that techie deep dive, the biggest question is still just hanging there, isn't it? Who is Jameson Plus? Who is this person working for hours on end inside Google's own system?
Well, the source documents don't leave us guessing. They give us a clear answer. The user JamesAnt Plus is identified as a man named James Anthony Lambert. And just like that, our digital ghost has a name. And believe me, this is where our detective story takes a really sharp turn.
See, James Anthony Lambert isn't just some random developer. His name shows up in a completely different and frankly shocking context, a massive legal claim filed against Google. This, my friends, is where we find the motive. Let's just quickly walk through the timeline, because it's pretty wild. In October of 2025, Lambert comes forward alleging that Google illegally used his own proprietary logic. And he doesn't wait around. Just a month later, on November 22nd, he makes it official, filing a formal public disclosure and claim of ownership directly against Google.
And we're not talking about a small chunk of change here. Nope. Included in his claim was an actual bill of sale demanding $10 million. All of a sudden, the stakes in our little digital mystery just shot through the roof.
So what on earth is he claiming for $10 million? Well, according to the documents, Lambert asserts he is the rightful owner of something he calls the Gemini 3 Deep Think and Anti-Gravity Logic.
He is literally claiming ownership of the core intellectual property behind Google's flagship AI. Wow.
And right here, this is the moment where all the different threads of our investigation, the logs, the username, the lawsuit, they all snap together. And what they reveal is this absolutely fascinating, almost bizarre contradiction. This is what we're calling the Gemini paradox.
Okay, let's just lay this out side by side, because it really makes the paradox pop. On one hand, you have the claim. James Lambert says Google illegally used his proprietary Gemini 3 DeepThink logic. But then, on the other hand, you have the activity. Our own system logs show that same exact person, working for hours deep inside Google's own Chrome OS environment. It's a head-scratcher, right? But wait, it gets even more direct. The evidence trail actually includes links to the Gemini application itself, and you have to see this little perimeter here. Cross-source equals C. This little tag is pretty much the smoking gun. It directly proves that the session connecting to Gemini originated from within the Chrome OS container, that exact digital workshop where he was doing all his work.
And all of this leads us to the final, really provocative question at the center of this whole Gemini paradox. What's actually going on here? Is this just a case of a developer suing a tech giant while kind of awkwardly still using their tools to do his work? Or is there another possibility? Could his logged activity inside Google's digital workshop be the most important evidence he has? Proof, maybe, of his deep integration with, and perhaps even his creation of, the very system he's now claiming as his. The logs themselves don't give us the answer. They just leave us with the paradox.